Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll teach you how to display images from database in ASP.NET GridView control. Before moving ahead, I would like to request you to please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. So this is SQL Server Management Studio and you can see the database script file which will be used to create the database and as well as the database table. This script can be downloaded from the article and also I have placed the link in the description. So the next thing is to execute this SQL file. As you can see, the database has been created and also the table has been created. The table has 4 columns: ID, name, content type and data. ID will be the file ID, name is the name of the image file, content type is the content type of the file which is like JPG, PNG, and data is the actual binary data. That's it from the database. Now I am moving to the Visual Studio where first I'll add the connection string. So now the connection string is ready. Let's move to the ASPX page where we'll start the programming. So first I am adding an ASP.NET file upload control. Below that I am adding a button. The button will be used to upload the file. I am adding an on-click event handler to the button. Now let's move to the code behind where we'll write code for the uploading part. So here first I am adding the namespaces. The first one is system.io which will be used for file processing. The second one is system.data which will be used for data table. The third one is system.configuration for accessing the connection string from the web.config file. The fourth one is system.data.sql client which will be used for AD.NET operations. So now I am adding the event handler for the button. So first I have created a variable for byte array. Then I am making use of binary reader class to read the binary data from the file upload control. As you can see, I am passing the posted file dot input stream object of the file upload control to the binary reader object. The input stream is actually the stream object of the file, and it will be converted into byte array using the binary reader class. When we want to save a file data in binary format in the database, we need to make use of byte array object. The input stream is converted into byte array using the read bytes function of the binary reader. The read bytes function accepts the content length property. The content length property holds the length of the stream. The next thing I am doing is reading the connection string from the web.config file. Then I have created the SQL connection object using the connection string. Now I am writing the insert query, which will be used to insert the file data into the database table. I'll be passing three parameters. The first one is name, the second one is content type, and the third one is data. I am not passing the ID, as the ID will be automatically generated in the database. The next thing I'm doing is creating the SQL Command Object, to which I'll pass the SQL query and the SQL connection object. Now I'm adding the parameters to be passed to the SQL query. The first one is name. Here I am using path.getFileName function because sometimes in old browsers the fake path or the path of the local folder is set in this property. The second one is content type. The third parameter is data, to which we will pass the byte array. So the final task is to open the connection, then call the execute non-query function, and then close the connection, which will execute the query, also insert the file into the database. So our upload part is ready. Let's run the code and see it in action. So first I am selecting a file. Then I am clicking on the upload button. So the file has been inserted. Let's move to the database where we'll check the status of the file. As you can see, the file has been successfully added into the database table. In the data column, you will see some numbers and characters. That is actually the binary data of the file. Now let's move to our part 2, where we will populate the image file from the database in the GridView control. So I'm adding a GridView control now. So here I am adding on row data bound event handler to the GridView. So why I am adding this event handler, I will explain later. So here in the GridView, I have added two bound field columns for ID and name. And the third one is a template field column, which will hold the image control inside it. And that particular image control will display the image file from database. As you can see, I have not added the image URL property, and the image URL will be set inside the on row data bound event handler. So now let's move to the code behind, where we'll write the code to populate the GridView. So here inside the page load event handler, I am adding the not is postback condition. The next thing I am doing is reading the connection string from the web.config file. Then I have created the SQL connection object using the connection string. Then I am creating SQL data adapter object, and to which I am passing the SQL query, which will be used to fetch the records from the table and display it into the grid view. Now I am creating a data table object. The data table is filled with the data using the fill function of the SQL data adapter. Finally, the data table is assigned as data source to the grid view, and the data bind function of the grid view is called. Now I'm defining the on-row data bound event handler. Now first here I am adding a condition to check the row type of the grid view. We need to make sure that the particular code should execute only for the data row. Now here I am creating a data row view object. So what happens when you bind a data table to the grid view? So the value of each row of the data table is available in the data item property. Now from this data item property, we need the value of the data column, which will be the binary data of the image file. So here the binary data of the image file will be converted into a base 64 string, and then it will be assigned to the image control. The to base 64 string function accepts the value in byte array format. So the value which is fetched from the database is converted into first byte array and then is being passed to the base 64 string function. And now we are finding the image control in the GridView row using the row.findControl method. And then the image URL which we have created will be assigned to the image URL property of the image control. So our GridView population part is completed. Now let's run the code and check it whether the GridView is displaying the image from database or not. As you can see, the image is being fetched from the database and is displayed in the GridView control. Now our final part is to add the zoom effect to the image control inside the GridView, which will be done using jQuery. So again here in ESPX, first I am adding an HTML div element to which I am providing an ID. This HTML div element will be opened as a pop-up, and inside the pop-up will display the image in zoomed format. So here you can see I have inherited some files. The first one is jQuery main.js, then the jQuery UI.css, and the third one is jQuery UI.main.js. Now inside the script tags, I am adding the jQuery document ready event handler. Now I am assigning the jQuery dialog plugin to the HTML div element. Here I am setting some standard properties of the jQuery dialog plugin. auto open false. That means it will be opened only when some button or some particular element is clicked. Model true, that means it will make the background unusable. Then I am setting the height and width, and finally I am setting the title. The next thing I am doing is referencing the image control inside the GridView, and I am assigning click event handler to each image control inside the GridView. Now when a particular image control inside a GridView is clicked, the first thing which is done is clearing the HTML div element, and then the image control is cloned using the clone function of the jQuery and is being inserted into the HTML div using the append function. Finally, using the open command, the jQuery pop-up is opened and the image is displayed inside the jQuery pop-up. So now we'll run the code for the last time to check out the zoom function. So now I'll click on the image. As you can see, the zoomed image is displayed inside the jQuery pop-up. The links for the source code and the demo are available in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. See you soon.